Alright guys, so here we go. I was so excited that I even forgot to press the start button, and once I did, I actually pressed it once and continued pushing and then forgot about it at all, so it just recorded about 40 minutes of ascending this mountain. It's about 750 meters mountain. So this guy's in flip-flops. I think he was not actually racing. I think this dude was just following us up the hill, and then it was just like fun for him. So I was just really interested how he's going to do it in the flip-flops. But to be honest, he was pretty fast for riding not in clipless pedals and stuff. So you can see many dudes falling backwards. Here is Florian, and I just thought for myself, for this race, it's my first time riding with Florian, and I know that he's a very strong rider with huge FTP. Lots of KOMs in that area, so I just thought I don't have to lose his wheel, so I should just sit on it and follow him. As you can see, he's a pretty big dude, big lad, about maybe almost 2 meters height. And as you can see, the road is not narrow, but lots of people there that day. So I knew that I have to overtake a few of them, especially because they're going not that quick. And as you can see, Florian is pushing. I decided I will jump on his wheel and continue sitting there. Lots of guys, though, were riding MTBs, and they fall backwards, even though they're pretty light. So I just assumed that many guys were not that fit particularly, probably. They are fit in terms of body, but not in terms of fitness, Some guys in road bikes pushing, but we're with Florian at this point. I think I just remember my heart rate being a bit too high, about 180 beats per minute. And then I thought I should just sit up for it in the wheel, for a bit, not attacking, not riding too quick, just to lower my heart rate and to get in the rhythm, So I'm just sitting on Florian's wheel. The wind was very strong at that day, because it was the storm. As you can see, rain already picked up. So it was very cool to have a huge group of riders to sit on the wheels, and Florian was perfect dude to follow. Then, as you can see here, he's pushing a bit, and lots of riders start dropping back. At this point, I remember my heart rate lowering a bit down, and I was just like comfortable pushing maybe 170, 175 beats per minute, and I know that I can definitely sustain this pace. I felt my legs were pretty good, and we were just pushing constantly, not surging, not attacking, just pushing the same kind of like wattage, like even though I don't have a power meter, I know, as you can see, this guy is flying, and good for him if it's easy, if he's doing it easy. But a lot of guys I also noticed were pushing so hard right at the start, attacking, out of the saddle, first 20 minutes. I don't know if you're capable of attacking right up from the start and then sustain it for next 6 hours, good for you. But I believe it's better to go constant, maybe even in the saddle. That what works for me. And also I just noticed that Florian, he's a huge dude for a climber, definitely. Probably his system with the bike altogether is up to 90 kilos, maybe even more. So considering that he can really push quite hard on the flats, as you can see here, he went forward, and I know I don't have to drop the wheel, and this is where the fun part starts. Road bikers basically left, all the MTB guys are at the back, so I know that this is the point where I just have to follow, and we have this more stronger guys right now going. And here is probably most of the guys out here are on the road bikes, I believe. Maybe some on the MTBs, but yeah. Basically, we just follow. Once again, Florian is pushing quite hard downhill because it's easy for him with his body mass, but I just follow him, and then we are passing different riders. And this is where I noticed we were actually passing them pretty easily. As you can see, they drop one by one at the back, Well, definitely some go up front, but you will see in the next maybe 10 minutes of the footage, lots of guys will be falling back, and that's what actually surprised me. The system of the guys 50 kilos, and then we are going pretty heavy dudes. I'm maybe my system with the bike altogether 85 kilos, maybe up to 100 for Florian even. So but still, we were passing guys. What does it mean? I think it means the guys were good looking, they're really lean, but they were not particularly ready to push the watts specifically up the hill. Cadence is not that good. We are passing different guys, and as you can see, look at Florian's cadence and look at other guys' cadence. He's pushing like maybe 90 up to 100 cadence. Florian is great job that day. No lactates, in his legs. And look at this guy upright. He's pushing maybe 80 cadence, which is fine, but maybe it's more efficient to spin more, because the guys are kind of like struggling. I'm not too sure about their cassettes and gear choosing, but it just felt like we were passing everyone. And actually up to the top, I'm just sneak peeking you, just like at the top I actually covered pretty much all the riders. Look at this guy in the blue. What's the cadence out there? Look, here is the fun start. Like we passed so many dudes. It's like 20 dudes, and we're not hammering, we're just going constant power output, and I just noticed the guy don't follow us, and out here I'm working a bit in front of Florian, but just the thing is, like, look at Florian, his cadence, and he's just pushing, and we go on the left hand side of the road, and the guys are falling back. That's what actually gave me lots of confidence in myself, because I see so many people falling back, and they look really much skinnier, they look like they could definitely drop us at the start line. I just thought, wow, they're so skinny. And once again, right here, you can see so many people falling back, and we were actually covering, like at this point, I think it's like more than 500 people, I would say we covered. It's like a third of the field, because we were actually pretty much almost at the back. And here you can see the guys are going, but we are still, getting on their wheels and then passing them easily. I wouldn't say easily, but it was not hard, and it was just surprising to me, I felt once again so much confidence going, and then all the guys falling back, and I can see they cannot follow even, I don't know, like, I don't even know what's the deal with that. I believe it has more to do with the fitness, specifically with what you can do going uphill, because it's a bit of a different work, I believe not many people train for specific uphill riding, here, because even though we have a few of those mountains, we don't often have lots of hills out here, in Guangzhou, and so probably many guys ride fast flat, but uphill work is a bit different. So I felt like a shark, in the water here. I'm just kind of like going, and the guys are falling back, and I look at them and they're really fit, like the bikes are good, and I'm just, Jesus, man, I'm capable of going fast, and the big mistake I made in my mistake video, I just, you can click here, I will suggest the video of all the mistakes I made in this race. So in mistakes of the race, I think it would be better if I lined up at the start, right at the start in the front line, because I actually was there, one of the first guys, but I was waiting for Florian, and I was not that particularly experienced in riding once again. So if I would line up in the front, I could start and see how many people are actually at the front, because at this point, once again, we're still dropping people going to the front, and I can see that it's maybe 550 people, 600 people we already dropped, and I'm just wondering how many people are at the front, and you don't even know, your mind can guess maybe 500, maybe 1,000 in the front, and you never know what happens. I remember some thoughts popping in my mind, like, wow, maybe they're already at the top, maybe there are some particularly strong climbers, and you just kind of like cannot plan, but once you start with them all together, you can see and you can actually count how many people are at the front. You do remember, so it's much easier, I think, for your overall performance to know how many guys have passed you. So always in the next races, specifically if it's more like a short race, not an endurance format, like 400k and stuff. I mean, like the races where you just smash. Look at this guy. He's just grinding. I don't know. Like it was strange sometimes. Even though right there I wasn't thinking about it. I was just doing my thing. But it was just definitely strange why people would grind. Look, the guy right now out there, cadence maybe 60. Just like. I don't know, like, what are you doing, man? You're just 60-kilogram rider, maybe maximum. Like you could fly up those hills, but like I'm 25 kilos heavier, but it's just easy done. I'm using actually compact and 1132. The wind is strong, the rain out there, but in general the vibe was just amazing. I was definitely feeling like a bit high. It was my first race. With that amount of people going all together, and I definitely feel like uphill racing is something I want to do in the future. Not too sure if I can sign for a Taiwan KOM race this year, probably not, but definitely would like, because those uphill races kind of like, even though I'm not that light, I feel like they suit me, And so then what happened? So basically, as you can see, it's almost the top of the mountain. And I can see many strong riders riding here, and this guy on this yellow bike also stuck to my wheel and then went to the front, and then we were changing positions. So we got to the top, then I quickly went down, got the stamp at the checkpoint, descended. I was really worried about braking there, but somehow my brakes held up well, and I could brake easily. Then we had a stretch of 40 k's straight or something like that, then one more checkpoint. At that point I was just I found the group and was going with them, and then we stopped, also get one more stamp, straight away got back to the road, got to another city, U-turned and then went back, and once we were riding on our way to the city, we saw guys maybe about 5 minutes in front of us, the top first group, and then we U-turned, started riding back, and pretty much hammering like almost 40k an hour, and I saw Florian once, then about maybe 10 minutes behind of us, and then we were riding, and then this BMW, the car, decided to stop quickly, and our guy, he braked and he somehow escaped hitting the car. And the other dude was also quite lucky, but I felt on the ground and hit the car a little bit, a bit of a scratches, and the guy wanted me to pay for it, but I was like, Jesus, dude, you were not right here. You stopped. You didn't watch out, for other guys, cyclists coming. And he was like, no. And then about 5 minutes, he said, okay, let's go, and it was okay, but I lost my group, so I couldn't go that fast again. And eventually, I got to the finish line, and the total time I think was 6 hours and 49 minutes, I think, the elapsed time for 180 Ks, and moving time was about 6.5 hours. I don't really know what was the winning time, because I got to the finish line. We started at 7 a.m. and I got there maybe almost at 2 p.m. About maybe 1:45, 1:50, and I saw the best result I saw was like 5.5 hours, so 1 hour faster than me, which is quite quick really, but not too sure about the first place. I was about 25th to 30th place, I think, out of maybe 160 elite riders, which is something I was really happy about. I got the medal and the t-shirt, and definitely this Faude race is I think it's German company Faude of cycling apparel, so I will definitely join in the future those races. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. This is my quick recap. Well, not too sure about quick, but my recap. And this Saturday I'm doing Audax 400 kilometers. This is gonna be a pretty big challenge endurance race for me. So thank you for watching and supporting me. Give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.